Hello, welcome to Kapow Toys Presents. I'm your host King Grimlock, and today we are going to be looking at the Powercore combiner Leadfoot with Pinpoint. Now these for me are probably the highlight of the Powercore combiner 2-pack range at the moment. These are two very nice little toys. Pretty much bang on in both modes, all three modes, I do apologise, both modes. So let's have a quick look at our little fella first, at Pinpoint, the Minicon. And he makes a fairly convincing engine stroke weaponry here. The Minicons are always seem just too big for the vehicle modes. Sledge and Throttler are one of the few that seem to fit quite nicely in. But you have some fantastic sculpted detail on the weaponry and on the engine block itself. It's just a shame it doesn't sit a little bit lower, and there wasn't another way to get these legs out of the way, so you could have the pipes of the arms showing up next to the engine, sat a little bit lower down into the actual car, so it might actually look like its engine rather than just a weaponry system stuck on top. But it is nice enough, and the colour scheme works very well. The detailing of the black and yellow picking out with the lights and various highlights on Leadfoot himself. And onto Leadfoot himself, he is a nice little sports car model. Let's fold that down. Very sleek, very detailed. Little highlights for me are things like the Black Rock racing team on the back. Black Rock, of course, one of the friends of the Autobots in the Marvel G1 comics. He has got a very nice colour scheme, very reminiscent of the Hunt for Decepticon Terror Dive, I think pretty much using the same scheme all across. And it's the little details that these guys have actually managed to pick out for me that are the highlights, things like having the chromed hubcaps, or wheel inserts, whatever they are on racing cars, and having also the silver painted, it's not chrome, gold painted, silver painted pipes on the side, and filling in the details like the cockpit. It's just the nice details that really add to it. Yes, you do have the typical Powercore combiner slugs sticking out the back, but again, much like Sledge and Throttler, these don't actually stick out too badly. They aren't great. It would be nice if there were a way to hide them away, but they aren't just completely, oh, there's a couple of blue blocks just hanging off the back. Well, they are hanging off the back. It doesn't work as badly. I don't know what it is. I can't explain perfectly what it is, I'm afraid. He does roll really nicely, as you would hope from a car, and he is pretty much kibble free, other than the 4 big purple bits, blue bits. You can make out where parts are going to come from, but you know what, it doesn't actually work too badly. In all, I'm thoroughly impressed with this guy in this mode. For me, this is, as I say, the highlight of the line so far, and if they continue to stick to this level of quality, then I'm going to have absolutely no problem with picking up even more. Let's take a look at our little fellas in their robot modes, which are highly successful. Now, the first thing I like to point out is I love a Minicon that looks like a robot. As much as I don't mind the ones that have bits hanging off them, here we have a guy with a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and looks the part. Yeah, you do end up with weaponry and an engine hanging off his back with a little bit of kibble, but you know what, it doesn't matter. This guy looks brilliant, and he does remind me of a Power Master, and as you can actually put the formation of him into Power Master format, for those who have G1ers out there, you could imagine being used as such. And as such, I am a big fan of that design. Really do like Pinpoint. Slapdash himself, Slapdash, it's not Slapdash, it's Leadfoot, even though he does remind me quite a bit of Slapdash, is beautiful, and one of the highlights of a decent Scout is his posability. For such a small figure to get a lot of articulation and detail into the posable nature of him is really nice, and this guy has it in bucket loads. Using the ugly blue tabs as heel spurs, they actually provide a decent solid base for him. Yes, you still have them hanging off on the underside of the hand, but you know what, it doesn't really matter. This guy uses it a lot better, and the Wave 2 uses them a lot better than the Wave 1 figures did, where they were just sort of sticking out and as additional parts. I love these massive hands. I love the idea that using the pipes as his fingers, and it's not trying to stick to the generic robot aesthetic. It's definitely taking leads from the movie line. Unfortunately, he does come back with a fair amount of back pack. It is kibble, isn't it kibble? It's a hard one to decide. For me, it isn't. It fits quite snugly in, because you can fold down the wheels. It adds to the aesthetic of the actual robot as well. And the detailing is sublime around the hip area. The head sculpt, for me, not all that. Of course, with these guys, they do work in various different ways, and this guy is no exception. It's supposed to have 4 modes, remember. We've had 1, the weaponry, 2, the robot, 3, his gun mode. Seriously, this is a mode. You fold that out the way. that's a mode. Yeah. I'm not keen on that, I must admit. I display my Powercore combiners in robot mode with, you know, these guys in robot mode as well, because most of these I really feel tacked on. And if I can remember how to get it out, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. There we are, that's the panel. Panel comes open on the front, and it means that he can be used as armour. And that Power Master configuration, here we go. 1987, here we come again. Power Master. Oh. And we have a armour Power Master. It looks like a Power Master. It's beautifully done, and also because you have the guns on the front, you can give him the electro nipples. Now, I really like this guy. I really like his aesthetic as a robot and as a vehicle. As I say, the head sculpt leaves a little bit to be desired, but that's mainly because I'm not a fan of the movie. He also comes with probably the best of the mini-cons so far in terms of posability, being able to stand up, and the overall look as well. Unfortunately, the two don't tie together brilliantly, which is always a disappointment in my eyes. I don't think they have any of their modes where they really fit and really look the part joined. That said, this thing is all about the combining, so let's take a look at his big bad mode, shall we? And the torso mode, while being more successful than the majority of the Powercore combiners I've looked at, it really still doesn't do anything for me personally. There is some fantastic detailing around the chest area, and the fact they've brought everything together in the chest and shoulders to give a much more bulky look and a much more, I don't know, humanoid look, I guess, really does speak volumes to me, though it just doesn't really succeed. Where the fingers or the thumbs plug into the I guess the rearview mirrors of the vehicle mode, they're on by pressure alone, and I can always see stress marks on mine, and this is the first time I've done it. Kids are going to destroy these within minutes, I swear. A lovely piece is there is a hidden twist in the thigh, which gives the legs the design, and the head mould is really good. But overall, I'll have a close look at that head sculpt for you, shall we? There we go. It's really nice, but overall I cannot recommend him as a central torso. His balance is shocking, and most of the parts that fit into the legs are going to push up and push these bits out of the way, instantly losing a lot of the connection there. This guy is perfect for scout mode, for his vehicle and for his robot mode, and his little Power Master buddy also does the job. As a combiner central piece, again, I can't get on with them. I personally don't like them. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that love them, and I really, really hope people get enjoyment out of them. But for me, as scouts, brilliant. I cannot recommend this guy highly enough, and I would definitely say go and get one and give the Powercores this second wave another try if you've given it up on the first wave. Anyway, I've been King Grimlock. This has been Powercore Combiner, Leadfoot, and his little buddy Pinpoint. And we will see you next time, guys.